On Thursday, we had this worksheet 8.5, adding and subtracting algebraic fractions, that I handed back to you on Friday. We did pretty much the whole front side. On the back side, I had done 5A and 5B as examples. Maybe it's 5C. So what I'd like you to do is, as you're trying to practice some more with addition and subtraction of fractions, I'll go through a few more examples on the back side here. So, first one, the letter M from 4, the very first one on the back side. So, there's kind of two approaches here. One is we could take this subtraction sign and distribute it through the parentheses right at the beginning to turn it into an addition problem. So when we make that addition, it changes the sign of everything in the top of that fraction. Makes it a -2 and a plus x. Now you don't have to worry about the distributing the subtraction sign anymore. So, to add or subtract fractions, you have to have common denominators. 5 and 10 both go into 10. To get 10, I have to multiply 5 times 2. So I got to multiply the top of that fraction by 2 also. 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 5, 10. The second fraction already has 10, so I can just copy down the -2 plus x as the numerator. When you add fractions, the denominator stays the same, and we just add the two numerators together. Find the like terms. 2x plus x is 3x, and nothing is like -2, so we end up with 3x minus 2. I can't factor 3x minus 2, so that is the answer. Alright. Let's keep going down that first column and look at letter I. So, in letter I see it's a subtraction problem. So I'm going to change it to add and negative. So I change the sign of anything in the top of that second fraction. Now, the common denominator, I've got an x plus 2 in the first fraction and an x plus 1 in the second fraction. So my common denominator is going to have an x plus 2 and it's going to have an x plus 1. The second fraction, I need an x plus 2 and an x plus 1. So in order to get that at the denominator, the first fraction needed an x plus 1. So that means I have to multiply the top of the fraction by x plus 1 also. That way the bottom has x plus 1 times x plus 2. The top, I'm going to distribute 2 times x, 2 times 1. In the second fraction, I've got an x plus 1 already. I need an x plus 2. So I need to multiply the bottom by x plus 2. Therefore, I got to multiply the top by x plus 2. Now the bottom has x plus 1 and x plus 2. The top, I need to distribute -4 times x, -4 times 2 makes that -8. So now we've got the common denominator, x plus 2 and x plus 1. the numerator, we add the like terms. 2x plus negative 4x is negative 2x. 2 plus negative 8. 2 plus negative 8 is negative 6. I see there's a common factor in the numerator, so I'm going to try to factor that out. Take out a negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And so I end up with x plus 2 and x plus 1 as the denominator. Is there anything that reduces? Nope. So really, either one of these would be correct as a final answer, as a simplified answer. But just in case something is going to cancel there, it's good to factor that one to check. Now so that I experience how tight the writing has to be on these problems. In letter J, so I'm going to draw a line here to separate. So it's an addition problem, so I need common denominators. I don't have to distribute anything here. So x minus 1 and 2x plus 1. There's nothing common about those factors, so I know my denominator needs an x minus 1 and a 2x plus 1. So both the first fraction and the second fraction. So to get that on the first fraction, I need a 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1 on top. So I have to distribute the x. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1, 1x. The second fraction has 2x plus 1. It needs an x minus 1. So I multiply top and bottom by x minus 1. The top I have to distribute 4 times x, 4 times minus 1. So now on top, well, let's write the denominator first. So the x minus 1 and the 2x plus 1 is my denominator. On top I've got a 2x squared. That's the only one with an x squared. X plus 4x is 5x, and minus 4. So now I want to see, can I factor the top? 2x squared plus 5x minus 4. And so I'd set up my parentheses. I need 2x times x, and I'd either need a negative 4 and a 1, 4 and negative 1, or negative 2 and positive 2. But no matter how I set that up, there's no way for me to get a plus 5x. So, because that does not factor, that becomes my simplified form. Okay. The last section is very similar. So in 7a, I need to figure out my common denominator because it's addition. And so I see an x times x plus 1 in the first fraction, and I've got an x plus 1 in the second fraction. So there's an x plus 1 in both, but the first one also has an x. So the way to get them the same is I need an x in the second fraction, the second denominator also. So x times x plus 1 will give me the same denominator. So I'll keep the x times x plus 1 with the first fraction, and then in the second fraction, when I multiply by x, x times 1 gives me a numerator that's going to add 2 plus x, and the denominator x times x plus 1. I can't factor the top, so that is simplified. So in letter C, the first denominator has an x minus 2 and x plus 3. The second denominator has x plus 3. It's addition sign. So I need common denominators. They both have an x plus 3. The first one has an x minus 2, so the second one needs an x minus 2. So that leaves my first fraction as 3 over x minus 2 times x plus 3. And now my second fraction, on the bottom, I've got an x minus 2 and an x plus 3. On top, I need to distribute x times x, x times minus 2. So the denominator here, x minus 2 times x plus 3, the numerator has an x squared, a minus 2x, and a plus 3. Can the top factor? Be x times x to get x squared. So I need two numbers that multiply to get 3. But they both have to be negative. That's going to give me negative 4x, negative 3x and negative 1x, not negative 2x. So it doesn't factor. Therefore, this is the simplified form. Just remember in part D, when it's subtraction, change it to add negative. Good luck.